¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Why is it doing that, man? There we go. ES is coming up 62.90 after bouncing off of the overnight little pivot. NASDAQ is doing the same. They're up about, 70 points or so. We have 6,300 liquidity up top. The CVD has gone from about negative 2,000 to almost neutral, so the buyers are hitting here. NASDAQ has about 2303. They've got a negative CVD, which is increasing, coming back up. Just found out the, oh, nice. All right, 2302. Keep an eye on oil. Oil is dropping nicely. Dropping nicely. 2359 still coming down. ES is top wicking. NASDAQ is top wicking back over. NASDAQ just filled most of the upside liquidity here. They had a little bit on at 23.025, but they have taken that off. So as of now, the skew is still here at 23.025, but overall it's very, very light liquidity. Not a lot going on. CVD continues to trim back to neutral. ES still has 6,300. So the skew to the upside here is still active on the S&P. It's just a very wicky back and forth day. A typical midweek, mid-session so far. Top wick. NASDAQ. CL still dropping. Give it to me, baby. $1.1 billion in puts, 639 million in calls sold. Looks like gold's going to bottom wick lower. Well, it's the absorption, man. That's why I didn't want to go about long on that just yet. The bottom wick scenario here is absorption. Now, we finally did take out the lower of all the three wicks here. That happened at 11 o'clock on Tuesday, July 15th, which was yesterday. And they bottom wicked back up. So, again, you still play the criteria. If you can take out 33, 34, you might be able to get a balance move to 43. But the big long that I really want to get excited about is the next position, which is down to 33.20. This position is what the kids would call played out, because the demand's already been absorbed. I need to mute for about a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. CL bounced big time, did they? Oh, man, they did. Look, they almost got to my alert, literally within a couple of pennies of it. It got down to 65.42. My alert was 65.40. Now I had an actionable position. See? Come on now. Come on now. All right. All right. ES is still top wicking. NASDAQ is still top wicking. So right here. Just signed on. Doesn't look like much. Nope. Yep. We're pinned. Nice, Doc Holiday. Appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you using the code. That's going to help us get more freebies. Looks like a repeat of yesterday. So far, yeah. We have a couple of top wicks. We're back to 23,000. This 23,000 area is like a magnet for NASDAQ. Look at that. Every single time we get away, we just oscillate back to 23,000. Right here. It's right back to it, like a rubber band. Now, oil, like I said, oil is my only actionable position. Well, not position, but I guess scenario. They just almost got to my trigger. Almost. Of which that tells me, once again, my system is still on point. Every time I identify a key level like this, it's just one more check in the box for stuff I'm doing right. I'm going to have to change this. Is it still buffering? No, it looks like it's good to go here. I need to change the bookmap thing here. Hold on a second. Uno momento, por favor. Still can't get bookmap to show up on YouTube. All right, there we go. Fixed. Beautiful. Do we have a 3 criteria long on the S&P at 10:05 Eastern and not enough volume? 3 criteria long at 10:05 Eastern. Let's take a look. 10:05. No. No volume. Well, that's on the 15-minute. Absolutely. On the 15-minute, we had nothing. On the 5-minute, no, we didn't have high volume. We had a slight uptick in volume, but it didn't even take out that prior candle. So no, I mean, just nothing to show me that we've hit true demand. To me, is no bueno, man. What I want to see, I meant to go over this. Well, I can't do it right now. Let me switch over my screen real quick. Volume analysis. So what I meant to go over, like this, yesterday's chart on the 5-minute was textbook. And it showed you how to play the bounces and how to not play the bounces, which was glorious. I mean, if you look, you've got on NASDAQ, you've got high volume at the lows, high volume at the lows, high volume at the lows. We finally break back down and retest again, and what does not happen? On this retest, you do not have volume spike. So that tells me absorption complete, it's time to go lower. And if you look at the chat, when I was yapping in the chat yesterday, I was bullish until this right here. And then I said, now it's time to go lower. And what happened? We sold from 23 and 1 and change all the way down into 23,000, almost 100 points down. So that's when to know it's time to play the long and time to play the mark through. Which is why I say, if you're looking for a continuation, whether it be going higher or going lower, you have to look to see where the volume is. If you come into a resistance or a support and there's no volume spike whatsoever, most likely it's time to continue on. And that is the time to play the continuation, the breakout, the breakdown. But if you see a volume spike, you have to very, very much question your thesis to continue that trade through the support or the resistance, because that tells you the counterparty is active. Every time you see a volume spike, demand, demand, demand. And when that volume spike is gone, it's time to go through. Yesterday was textbook. Right now we are still bouncing, heading towards the skew. Link to Bookmap is in the server, and I posted it in the channel as well. There you go. On the stream analysis channel. It appears the live stream is back to being in good quality. Maybe. But we're still grinding up to the skew, which is 6,300 on the yes. 6,300. Oh, such a great explanation with the visual. I know you said this a million times, but sometimes the repetition isn't necessary to really catch an abstract strategy. Yep, appreciate that. We have a bad storm about to hit us here, so although I am officially now on a UPS and a backup system, if the power goes out, I'll have to make some changes. Man, what a bounce on oil that was. Stupid price action. It's crazy that in trading, the difference between a phenomenal blowout profit day and nothing is 1 cent, 1 penny. Ooh, big top wick. What just happened? What was that? What just happened? What was that? White House advisor and remarks. Fed has been very slow. Inflation has been fine. The Fed needs to get back on the curve where the rate should be, etc., etc. Right here, 62.84, bottom wick. Volume. Volume. Gold just freaking launched. Holy smokerinos, what just happened? I don't see anything in the newsfeed channel to dictate that type of volatility influx. Anybody have anything? Who's got it? Still going lower. Still going lower. Bottom wicking it. Bottom wicking it. I caught the very bottom of that freaking bottom wick. It's going. I caught the very freaking bottom of that bottom wick. That's going. I love freaking momentum. Wow. Wow. All right, well, my day's done. That happened way too fast. Way too fast. Good gosh. Momentum, baby. Trump asked Powell, fire to Powell. Blah, blah, blah. All right, bottom wick off the prior support on NASDAQ, and they flew all the way back up on momentum. Buy the dip, baby. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. One of us, one of us. Gooble gobble, gooble gobble. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Somebody flapped their jaws and the market knee jerked. Yep, that appears what happened. So, quick momentum trade there. Nothing. That's nothing. That's just more of a gut feeling with momentum. We had a bottom wick at the prior support at 910. Insta wick with volume. I jumped in it, immediately put my stop up, and it just launched. So, whatever. Sometimes you gotta jump in real quick. NASDAQ on ES, it's coming back over. Palantir is freaking launching or not Palantir. I keep saying that. Platinum's still launching. Gold just freaking launched and took out the day. I know I'm seeing some comments about Jay Powell being fired. I saw it last night. We're seeing it again this morning. More likely it's going to happen. I would, if I had to guess, the market would respond to that in a negative manner. Complete guess. Complete guess. Yeah. So the bonds in gold are reacting to comments. The bonds in gold, which means that it's something material that they're starting to believe. When you see the bonds moving, that means the markets are beginning to believe what's being said or pricing in the probability of the comments coming to fruition, and that's what's happening here. Big old top wick NASDAQ. Ooh, nasty. Look at that. Donald Trump said he might remove Federal Reserve Chair Powell. Market reacting to this, hence the algos. Yeah. So up until this point, and again, I don't, this is not political. This is strictly market related. Up until this point, there's been a lot of jabbing about what he's going to do with Powell, but there's nothing substantial because supposedly they're independent. But now he's starting to bank on this renovation he did. What, $2.5 billion for a building renovation? He's saying that is cause for termination, which he does have the ability to do if he has cause. So if that actually is the case, if he hits that button, and that's the case, that's when, if he does be able to fire Jay Powell, the markets will react and will have a negative, in my opinion, a negative reaction, because we don't know what the next Fed policy will be to go from there, and the market will be uncertain, and the market does not like to participate in uncertainty, and it'll go risk off, in my opinion. But look, still holding, still bottom wicking. I'm going to remain in a buy the dip in mindset until it proves me wrong. TLT would get smoked if Trump got his way. Inflation would spiral. People keep saying that inflation keeps going down. People said that the tariffs would skyrocket inflation, and inflation keeps going down. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to get any accurate data out there without the emotional nonsense to really gauge that. $62.84. You think the market is waiting for the news catalyst to move lower? Yeah. Crypto's popping. Yep. NASDAQ is back and forth, 23,000. Caught this dude 4K. Nice. RTY is still there. Overall, though, a nice little shaking and bake. Another opportunity to buy the dip with high volume. Right here, gold. Gold is still rocketing. So well done, Magabagouli. Still held this low. I did not play the lows here for fear of absorption, but we had a hold, couple of bottom wicks, accumulation, and the news made it a very fortunate entry. So just absolutely just going. Let me take a look at the hero. Let's see what we got going on here. All the skew is still up 6,300. There's literally nothing on the book at all. They wiped everything except a 6,300. At the moment, we have 940 million in puts, 620 million in calls. Sold. Calls sold. Which means negative delta. Another top wick on ES. Oh, man. I would be thinking the primary market moving catalyst would be China invading Taiwan. Yeah. So one of the few remaining catalysts to bring the market substantially lower would be China officially invading Taiwan. If that happens, it'll be very volatile. NASDAQ is still going up. The Skew is still higher. No additional trades for me. This was the momentum trade from earlier. $62.90, still going. China invading Taiwan is probably a 20% down day. Yeah, it probably is. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Looks like gold is going to shoot for 32.60, 32.68. Probably. Yep. Riding the gold train now. I think it's a fantastic idea. I didn't play the gold this morning, but still a very good opportunity. This is the worst chop ever. It is. It's mid. It's just back and forth here. It's back and forth. The only way I can really recommend you don't get caught up in this nonsense is to stop looking for the short trade. Play buy the dip instead until it's ready, until it's time. It's like you're cooking Thanksgiving dinner and you keep on trying to pull the turkey out before it's done. You're sitting at 110 degrees internal temp. You need 165 degrees internal temp. Just wait till 165, baby. I have no idea where I came up with that. That is the 5-minute A-firm, yes sir. The way I play momentum trades, I put on the trade where I think it's going to go. The second I see a fortunate wick, I roll my stop up into profit territory and I just see what happens. If I could get 1 point, cool, whatever. That case is very fortunate. I ended up getting like 35 points on NASDAQ. Beautiful. Made my day. If it breaks down very quickly, I stop out very, very quickly. But it's a momentum trade, very quick. The second I see the signs, especially on news-related events like that where they pop out of nowhere, counter it. The only times you don't want to counter it is if it's something drastically huge that's massive, like Trump announces like 5,000% tariffs on China. We're going down. So, play the momentum. Well, don't play the momentum unless you're risk mitigated, I should say. But, yeah. What do we got? Thick. I love it. Oh, man. Other than that, bunch of nonsense. Back and forth. Nothing's changed. We still have, they are starting to buy back some calls, though. We have gone now from 900 million of calls sold, negative delta on calls. They're now increasing back up to 300 million of calls sold, so they're buying them some back. If they cross into negative positive gamma territory, delta, sorry, not gamma, then I would probably look for a high of the day touch. High of the day touch. If you look at the trace indicator on spot gamma, we have a whole bunch of positioning right here. 6250 plus or minus 20 points. There is a massive amount of roadblocks in this area, which is giving us this chop session from an option chain perspective. From a liquidity perspective, they have cleared out everything except 6,300. 6,300 has been the back and forth target now for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Back and forth target for 2 weeks. NASDAQ is 23,020. Every good pop is sold off. That's pretty telling. It's not. I guess that can be same every day. Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. You kind of answered your own question there. But look at the long term. We're range bound here. This yellow line, and trust me, it's because I care for you is why I'm trying to keep you back grounded. This yellow line on here on the S&P, that is when you need to start turning to the bear side. Turning to the bear side. So right now it's just back and forth. It's selling the highs, it's buying the lows. If you see a spike in volume here with a top wick, then I'm with you. Let's go down, baby. I'm sorry, yeah, I'm streaming Bookmap. Yeah, you see a spike in volume here, right here, with a big move down on a top wick. Yeah, we're going down, especially if you take out 6260. Then we'll go down. Until then, man, we're just back and forth. We're consolidating at the highs. I need volume, kind of like what we did on NASDAQ. Look at the NASDAQ. Kind of like what we did here yesterday. Until you have a volume spike to bring us lower, and then a breach lower with no volume, that's the primary target to start going low. That's just the same thing applied to the daily chart. What if we get volume up? Well, that will tell me, like, if this thing comes up to the highs and then we have a volume spike with a top wick, then that tells me that we're going to have a selling climax. So there's two theories for me to want to short this macro. Move up, aggressive, get everyone all bulled up, get everyone chasing the highs, and then they absolutely smoke that candle back down with a volume spike. That is a textbook selling climax, which tells you we are in the mid to end stages of distribution and we need to go down. The second way to short this, at which point I will get a short as early as I can to identify that. The second period is if it continues to consolidate, kind of moseys on down anticlimatically, and then one day we finally take out 6260 with no volume spike. At which point, yes, it's time to move lower. Those are the two ways. The first one for me would be higher confidence, and it would be willing to get me at a better entry. The second one would require more patience, and I would have a little later entry, but a more qualified entry. Until then, man, buy the dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. I just found out MetaPlanet has a $50 fee. I don't know what that is. I don't know what MetaPlanet is. They are now positive delta on calls, so they have bought back $1 billion in calls sold. So all that was fodder for buy it up, and they're about to break into sold puts territory. They went from 1.1 billion in sold puts or bought puts Now they're now about to breach into positive delta puts, which is a sold puts territory and long calls. They're coming back up. They take out this area, play long up to 6,300, or don't play at all. Don't play at all. 102.9, the buzz. And Q at highs, yep. Yep. Oh, man. Look at the skew, though, man. Look at the skew on the book. The book's telling you 6,300 all day long. There's nothing else anywhere except 6,300. 6,300. I got squats again today. Yeah, another high volume wick, man. Is this right? On TPT, once pro, until you've bought up the drawdown, it's like on Apex, it goes unrealized. No. Negative. It's closed. Which, by the way, they've undone that. So, for the Pro Plus at least. But no, it's not unrealized. I would never do it if it was unrealized. New highs for NASDAQ, still going, baby. Still going. Oil's still hanging out. Could you please go through how you use CVD? Do you find it useful for identifying icebergs and absorption without Bookmap's MBO package? The way I use CVD, I watch CVD for fluctuation in sentiment. So if I see the CVD, which is an aggregate buyers and sellers, if I see the CVD swinging from deeply negative into neutral into positive, that tells me the buyers are hitting the tape, which is precisely what happened this morning. We had like a negative 2,500, negative 3,000 CVD, and then it's starting to shift back towards more neutral. And then if that goes green especially, what, we just have another news posting? What's going on here? Yeah, we had a data latency spike, which means we have a news posting. What's going on here? 1 second. Another sweep. Do I need to buy the dip again? Do I buy the dip again? What are we doing? Let me watch this again. I got major data latency. I can't get anything. Top Step X is locked. What is going on? What is going on? Same news? Hey, my Top Step X. Oh, there we go. Now we're back active. $62.71 dropping 3 times support coming on down to lows. This is a plungeroni, baby. Plungeroni. Call the plumber. Get the plumber out. Because it's Plungeroni. Holy smoke-ceroni. Bottom wick so far. Another bottom wick. That would have been an insta 40 points on bottom wicks. The best market in the world to just sit here and buy the dip. Buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, baby. Anyway, so look at the CVD now, plunging. Speaking of CVD, it just went from 500 now to 4,000 negative, the most negative number of the day. But look what happened. We came up, we tapped the skew at 6,300, dumped all the way back over on some jabroni news. On jabroni news. But this is erratic, man. You know, I can't really recommend a lot of trading in this right here because this is back and forth erratic. Catch momentum plays, small position sizing. What happens when you take out a support level on high volume? Normally that happens in a catalyst. So if that case, you just have to apply the 3 criteria. Flushed it. A bottom wick would have paid you. I did not take this play though. Primarily because Top Step froze. Now, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break 22,958. So let's call it 22,960. This is now 4 attempts to take it out. If they retrace this candle back down, I do think we'll have an official low that pre-market low touch, which will be 22,930, which I will play the bounce off of. And if they take that out, we're going to play down into 843. So, yeah, buddy. Y'all hear that thunder? There's a nasty storm rolling through right now. Oh, nasty lightning and thunder. Highest volume candle of the day. They even took out the opening volume candle here. Man, it's like rope-a-dope over here. I feel like Rocky Balboa against Apollo Creed. Trump likely to fire Powell soon, the White House official says. That was the data. Yo, Adrian, where am I long on the market here? It ain't over. Once we take out this 22,950, we'll look for overnight low of 22,930, which it's about to do right here. Plunge Roni with cheese. Plungeroni with cheese. So it needs to take that touch and then go. Still going. 62.60 and dropping. Let's see if it defends. Let's see if it defends. They're trying to, but if this gives out, man. It's trying to bottom wicket. It's trying to bottom wicket. $62.63. What is that? 62.64. Let's go over to NASDAQ. What do we have? 933, 930. Still going lower. I don't know, man. I don't get a lot of. Let's see. Wait for a 5-minute close. This will be a good spot. We have negative 3,300 CVD on NASDAQ, which is quite negative. It is quite negative on NASDAQ. If they take this candle out, though, it's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy. Highest volume candle of the day. What do you got? Quick question. Where do you get your news from? Mostly Twitter, honestly, or X. That's where I get most of my data from because it's fast and it's reliable. Most of the time. If they take this out, man, we're going down. After that, well, I probably think we'll start attacking 846 or so. Still going. Look at that. Smoked. 900. Negative 3,600 CVD. Very, very red. Not taking that gold long's gonna haunt me. Yeah. Tell me about it, dude. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Spicy Wednesday, man. I like it. Spicy Wednesday. It's a 910. ES. ES is now below 62.60, which is the trigger. So they better defend here, otherwise it's all she wrote. At least for the time being, for the rest of the week. Coming on down. Negative 3,500 CVD. What's the hero doing? Hero just flipped. Let's see. 1.5 billion purchased puts, 1.1 billion in sold calls. So they once again flipped aggressively negative delta. But they're trying to bottom wicket again, but can they hold it? We have 920. Let's go to ES. Hammer candle NASDAQ. Hammer candle. Again, buy the dip. Buy the dip. Every time. I'm still not looking. I still don't like shorting, man. Not in this market. Still don't like shorting. This is one of the lessons in struggling and learning. My puts got stop loss before the drop. Trying not to revenge trade to get back in. Yep. This is the level to defend. So, if you're looking for me to go bearish, this is the level we've got to close under. I am not going to short anything until we're below this level and can close it. It may not be today, maybe tomorrow. But until then, I am still going to relentlessly buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Gold spike is insane. Yeah, I wish I would have taken the gold trade, man. That would have been freaking beautiful. So, anyone still hold the gold trade? We did flip bearish in the 4-hour yesterday, though. Closed below 840s in the daily. We could see some correction. I don't see a bearish flip on the 4-hour. No, we're still in the range. We do have some top wicks, don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong, I still think the top is either this week or early next week, probably this week. However, from a technical analysis, we're not there yet. All we're doing is back and forth in the range. The time will come, and it could be today. It could be here in a few minutes. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Now, in terms of scalping, there's plenty of short opportunities. Plenty. Go nuts. You could have played both sides of the tape for the past 2 weeks and made money. You could have played the short side and long side, both sides of the tape, and made money. But I'm trying to be low stress, consistent, repeatable, because the time to short will come on the macro scale. I guess I pissed somebody off because I just heard like 15 people just leave the stream. They were like, I guess there's too many bears in the channel. Anyway, buy the dip. Another one. Buy the dip. See how many dips I can get today. All right, RTY still holding the support level too. Right here. There's another one. Love it. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. That's the sound of blowing up accounts. Yeah. 22,960 still going, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Buy the dip. Buy the dip every time. Look at that. Up. 960 still going. Oh, man. ES bouncing right where we thought we would. 62.60 right there. Plotted this line yesterday. Although it's, once again, it's not rocket surgery. Super easy to pin this stuff up. It doesn't take an accounting degree to post these levels. But it does take some discipline to be patient enough to wait for them. Period. All right, so now what? They have removed the lower skew. So this little liquidity at 22,900 has been removed off the book. So there's no more pullback down to that area. Look at that. Look at that freaking move. Absolute smoking a pancake. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable, man. Amazing. Unfreaking believable. It is beautiful. Now, I pose this question to you, and a curiosity question. My thesis now for how long? April? I mean, heck, always. My thesis always is late July, early August. The market begins to contract. It begins to top wick, it begins to sell off, and then August we have a correction. It just so happens we're lining up with that exactly thing again. And all of a sudden they're going to start releasing news headlines to draw the market down. Do all the politicians or whoever creates the headlines get together and say, all right, in late July, early August, we're going to start posting bearish news? No. Because it comes down to price action, baby. Liquidity. Liquidity is king. Liquidity is Apollo Creed. Not Apollo Creed. Liquidity is Rocky Balboa at the end of Rocky 4, where he's been pounded in the face for 14 rounds, and he's still getting up. He's 158 pound, 5'8" Italian guy who can beat a 6'4", 240 pound German. Still going. We've literally been trading in a rectangle since the beginning of July. Yep. Yep. Oh, man. 22,990. Still going. 100-point bounce on NASDAQ. 100-point bounce on NASDAQ. There are opportunities to develop in Bitcoin, MSTR, and GameStop. Interesting. I wonder what's going on with GameStop. A White House official has just said that Trump will fire Powell likely very soon. That's an official comment. Interesting. I think it may be time to put on some protection puts. But I need 62.60. I need 62.60. Catalyst for 62.60 break? It could be. It could be. The rule we want to draw your attention to is intraday trailing drawdown with your pro account. The drawdown will trail your unrealized profits in real time until it reaches your initial account balance. I think it's improper wording because it doesn't do it the way Apex does. The way Apex does it, if you open a trade. No, I think you're reading it right. I just think it's poor wording on their part. The way Apex does it, as I'm sure everyone knows, is your first trade, whatever. Never taken a trade before you open up a new account, you take a trade. The trade goes up $1,000, you leave it open, it comes back down to break even. You've now lost essentially $1,000 of a trailing drawdown. With this one, what it means is that it's still by your closed trades on the day, but it trails your current trade itself. So it doesn't move it. It just trails your prior profits closures on this current trade. That trade could be unrealized because the trade's still open, but it doesn't base the amount on unrealized gain or loss, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. Yeah, exactly. So they rolled all the way back over again and then bottom wicked it again. However, my bullishness is beginning to deteriorate on today's candle. Every time they test lower, it's more likely to break down. At which point we'll test down to, what is this? 883? 883? So we'll have a determination here pretty soon. What is it, 94, 93? It's looking likely. So I made 500 on the trade. Now my trailing goes to 500. Yes, correct. Correct. Now, when you open a new trade, the unrealized gain or losses on that one trade will trail that $500, yes, but not, the trailing won't move until that trade's closed. 922 still dropping. Beautiful. So this one I'm not as bullish on. Like I said, now I'll play down to 887. Now that we absorbed and gone lower and retested, 887. I'm not buying the dip on this one. $887. Here we go. Coming on down. Once we take out here, 887 on NASDAQ. Oh, crap. I'm past the 1030 mark. All right, so we are past the 1030 mark. Unfortunately, I do have to call that a day and wrap up the stream. So yeah, if you are unfamiliar, if you're new to the channel, head over to the Bookmap stream and take a look. We do every Wednesday streams coordination with Bookmap at 9:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, or 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. If not, you could join the Discord server and we stream every single day. Until then, I'll see you back next week. I'm going to head over to my server and I'm going to open up another stream on our server to continue on. So have a good rest of the day. Play safe out there. I'm out. See you.